Challenging and difficult task in archaeology is to first locate a site. Now once you are on a site, then depending on the size of the site or the complexity of the site, it may take several years to actually understand it completely. But the greatest challenge is just to find it. And here our challenge, I think, is complicated by the fact that we had architecture that is in the form of the palisade and the huts that's very ephemeral. It wasn't intended to last for a long period of time. So it's not like a stone building. We're not likely dealing with structures that had foundations. These are structures that these little wooden huts probably were at best sitting on stacks of stone, corner piers if you would, that would get it just a little off the ground. And of course, what happens after the camp is done, the huts are taken apart, the wood's used elsewhere, and the stones are distributed or taken away by the plowing and the like. So we're dealing with ephemeral architecture. We're also dealing with a relatively short occupation period. It's only 22 months. So that you only have 22 months to deposit refuse on the land surface. So that again makes it more difficult. There are many historic sites I've worked on where a site may have been occupied for 75, 100 years, where you get a ton of refuse that's deposited over that period of time. On the other hand, there were a lot of people here, and one might argue because there were, anywhere between, let's say, 15 and 1,800 people, there would be more opportunities for people to lose things, to throw out waste and the like. But then we also know that these people didn't have much. So when you combine all those factors together, I think it makes it quite challenging to discover this site. But again, the area I would like to go to next season is an area where I think the topography fits and makes sense with the sparse descriptions we have from the accounts of people that were here. And it also makes sense with respect to the fact that they all needed water, because this location has a spring on one side and a stream on the other. So but how long it'll take us to pin it down, I can't tell you for certain. We'd like to think that we're going to come right down on it. That's always our hope. But this is typical, actually. I think you'd talk to a number of archaeologists and they would tell you that a lot of time can be spent just in locating a site. Once you've located it, if you intend to fully investigate it, then you can plan on another pretty good chunk of time, depending on what kind of site it is, how complex it is, how big it is, all of those factors.